What's new? Get ready.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of the Play to Win podcast. My name is Keiran, and I'm, of course, joined by my awesome co host, Tyler. How is it going?
It's going well. I am a bit tired, but I'm going to make it through. But I have the house kind of sorted to myself for like a week and change.
Nice.
My mom's on vacation, my brother's on vacation. So yeah, like that's cool. That's awesome. It's nice.
Yeah, I also kind of have the house to myself. My parents are away just now. My sister was out, but she's home now. But yeah, it's good times.
It's nice time. It is nice
Yeah.
times over here. You know, it's cool.
Yes. This is the Play to Win podcast. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Play to Win Game for updates on the show. We share some stuff over there. So you'll follow us. And while you're following us, you should subscribe to us on YouTube and take notification bells so you know that when new videos go live, like my Hades gameplay I posted yesterday. I would have cobbled together something else, but I have had a very busy week, so I haven't had much time. So the 10 minutes of Hades gameplay I recorded is about all the gaming I've done this week. So that was fun. Yeah, if you want to see some like mid-tier Hades gameplay in terms of like upgrades and stuff, but you know, F tier in terms of my skill, then go watch yesterday's video. Topics we're going to cover in this episode is Halo is not launching with two key components. Call of Duty Vanguard has officially been revealed, and new Pokemon footage was shown during a Pokemon showcase. But before we get into any of that, we have some brief mentions to get to, which there aren't actually that many this week in terms of how big this list could be. So
Yeah.
that's nice for a change. There's not a million brief mentions to get through. First up, Outriders dev, people can fly, right?
Yes.
Yeah. For some reason, my brain was just like, that's what they're called, right?
Mhm.
Outriders Give People Can Fly is not sure how many copies of the game have been sold and are yet to be paid royalties by Square Enix for the game. It's a story that broke earlier this week, which, I mean, I think is a little bit weird, but I don't know the inner workings of Square Enix or People Can Fly, so
Yeah, I imagine there's probably something like in their contract or their deal, like when they made with Square Enix to make the game for them and all. I imagine something like that in regards to like when that information gets divulged to them.
yeah.
I'm just surprised that that type of deal was made where like they're not in the know on how many copies of their game have been sold. And on top of that, I mean, like, because if I'm right, when you read their statement at all, they're not sure of how many copies have been sold, and because they haven't gotten any royalties, that leads them to believe that the game has not been profitable as of yet. So that kind of started a discussion around the fact of, oh, maybe the game would have been profitable if it wasn't released in Game Pass on day one, or also, you know, like if the game was actually, you know, any better than it actually ended up being, you know, then maybe more people would have wanted to actually buy the game and so on. It started a big discussion this week, but it is very interesting and just like, oh, wow, they don't know this information. Okay. Kind of thought they would.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they will get told at some point, but as for right now, I don't know if we 100% know what's going on. Now, a brand new game announcement, a game that has never been before seen, came out this week. That is, of course,
came out. Oh, wait, the game hasn't come out, but the announcement was what happened this week. Yes.
That is, of course, a joke because Skyrim 10th Anniversary Edition was announced this week. Todd Howard was like, you know what? They need one more. They need one more version of Skyrim.
As he said before, like, you all keep buying it, so we'll just keep
exactly.
doing it, essentially.
Yeah.
And like this Anniversary Edition, it's like, I want to say it's like the cheapest of cash grabs, because it's like, it is literally the special edition that's already on PS4 and Xbox One, except now you get access, like you get instant access to a bunch of like Creator Club stuff right off the bat.
Yeah.
And fishing. and fishing.
Oof, worth it.
Forgot about that. But like, so it's like, other than that, it is the exact same game. So it's like, wow, you guys are really milking it. And they said that there's going to be a next gen version. And if you already have it on PS4 or Xbox One, you get a free upgrade to that, to the next gen version of special edition. But anniversary edition is its own separate thing. And it's just like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
I guess we're doing this.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of agree with Todd Howard. Like, if people stop buying it, they'll stop releasing it.
I think it's also interesting from the release date for is 11/11.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's the same day it came out when it first came out back in the day. But also the same day GTA 5 comes out on next gen.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder like which one. Well, GTA is going to be the one that sells more and is more like popular and like, just because I imagine that one is GTA 5, but two, I imagine that like remaster will be more substantial and that release be way more substantial than this. I mean, it's something. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's also an interesting release date because I'm pretty sure it's 2 days after Forza Horizon 5 and sometime around when Halo Infinite is going to launch, I would imagine.
Yeah, we don't know Halo's date yet, but
yeah,
I mean, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
because I got thoughts.
A Saints Row reboot is coming during Gamescom opening night live on the 24th, 25th. Yeah. I got confused with the Xbox showcase, but yeah. I'm actually quite excited for this. I've never played the original Saints Row, so I'm interested in picking this up. Definitely. They posted a pretty cool image on their Twitter, I think, where it was just like a wall with some graffiti on it. It just says rebooting. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I never played the first one. I've only played 3, but I liked 3 a fair amount. So now the question really becomes: is this reboot more in the style of the original Saints Row, or is it more in the style of Saints Row 3? Because I mean, while I never played 1 and 2, I know that 3 stylistically and tone-wise, everything from starting from 3 on was very different tone-wise from what came before. So it becomes a question of, are we going to have the more satirical, jokey, lighthearted, comical type of Saints Row, or are we going to have the Saints Row that came before that in terms of tone? It's going to be interesting, and I think that's what everyone's kind of wondering themselves in terms of like how excited they're going to be for this.
Yeah, I've played all of them except 1, so I'm interested to see what this is going to look like when they show it off.
Right.
Fortnite, in my opinion, has made a bit of a boo-boo because it has added an imposter mode, and the Among Us devs don't feel good about it because they've basically copied Among Us, the map at least, and not asked or consulted Inner Sloth at all. It's like almost like I don't want to say almost a carbon copy, but it's quite similar to Among Us, and like I said, they didn't consult or talk to or get permission from Inner Sloth whatsoever.
Well, here's the thing. It's not. It's okay. They don't. All right. There is, aside from like the map thing, it's not even necessarily just that. It's also the fact, like literally the use of the word like imposter. The mode is called imposters. That is the word. That's the verbiage that is used all in Among Us and everything. And while I haven't played this mode in Fortnite, I've read about it some. And if I'm right, like you're able to to eject people, and like the gameplay mechanics of it are very similar to what's already in Among Us. It's like it goes past more than just the map. It's like everything about the mode is essentially lifted right out of Among Us. And like the team over there, they've already said like, we're not trying to gatekeep like the mode or anything like that. Like, that's totally fine. Like if like you want to do your own type of imposters or like Among Us type mode, whatever you want to call it. But it's literally the fact that everything about the mode has been seemingly lifted without like change or anything at all to make it unique to Fortnite in any way, shape, or form. And because like because of that, it's like, all right, if this is what you were going to do, you could have just collabed with us. Like you collab with Marvel and DC and all these other giant properties, but you can't collaborate with us, which, you know, like one of the biggest indie games out there right now, and have us collaborate with you, one of the biggest free to play game out there on the market. That would have been just like an insane collaboration for both parties.
Yeah.
But I can understand why they're not really all that fond of it and everything. And I mean, it just shines more of a bad light on Fortnite in terms of like, yeah, you know, Fortnite was already dying when it first came out, and then they added Battle Royale like a few months after PUBG got big, and then Fortnite just kind of ran from there. And again, not to say they couldn't do that. It's just, you know, I mean, they also added their own thing, but it was just like, hey, just another sign of Fortnite copying something that's really big and popular, adding it to their game in a way that's kind of like takes away the spotlight from what it originally came from, in a sense. So it's interesting. Also, I thought it was interesting. I saw some people saying, funny how Epic was, you know, talking about how with the court case against Apple, how they're championing for the smaller devs, yet they go ahead and do this to a smaller dev. Like it's just not a good look.
No, exactly. It's pretty sus in Among Us terms.
You had to slide that one in there.
Know, had to do it. Right, I'm gonna get through these quickly because we have some stuff to talk about. Splitgate is staying in beta indefinitely. They haven't announced when that is coming out, but again, I haven't played it, so I don't know what the state of it is, but there you go. WarioWare Get It Together now has a demo that is available now on Nintendo Switch. A Quake remaster was announced and released on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. It is also available through Xbox Game Pass and is getting next-gen versions soon for free. Also, it has a new expansion made by Machine Games, and it features 4K resolution, better models and lighting, anti-aliasing, depth of field, and the original soundtrack. I am going to be trying that out soon, so I will probably report back on that next week.
Nice.
A new Polygon report was published on why Sony Manchester
was shut down. Sorry, I wrote shut down twice. Here twice. Yeah. It's an interesting report. Sony Manchester, if you don't know, they were a studio that was made in 2015, if I'm right. If you read the report, it has all the details. But like the brief TLDR of it is Sony Manchester was a studio made to make VR games for PlayStation, and they were working on one game, but like it wasn't coming, like mismanagement at the studio itself and all caused basically no progress to be made on it at all. And then leadership changed at Sony, so Shuhei Yoshida was no longer the charge of worldwide studios. He became in charge of indies, and then Herman Hulse became in charge of worldwide studios, and then that things just snowballed and it led to Sony Manchester being shut down. So it's an interesting report. If you want know all the behind the scenes on it, definitely go read the report over on Polygon. I don't remember who wrote it, but it is very interesting and enlightening. Just show who knows what type of games we could have been getting from them in terms of the VR space and everything. But yeah, interesting report.
If you aren't a fan of 5-second clips of a man walking, then I've got some bad news for you. Abandoned gameplay reveal is a few months away. You'll have to wait a little bit for that.
Yep.
Ubisoft Singapore is being investigated by the Tripartite Alliance for Fair and Progressive Employment Practices over claims of harassment. I think this is a studio we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, so if you want to learn about some of the stuff that's gone on there, then go and watch that episode.
Yep.
And the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing accusing Riot Games of stalling on demands made in their investigation of the company. So Riot is now being like, the only word that comes into my head is targeted, but targeted makes it sound like they've done nothing wrong. So they're being focused on by the same department that is currently suing Activision Blizzard.
Yep. So not again, it's just companies need to do better. Yep. I don't know I read both articles about each of these things happening. I don't remember all specifics of them, but this is just the overview. If you want to read more about it, by all means, go read them, go find the articles. They're out there. But yeah, I just thought wow, DFEH over at California, they are on it with these game companies now,
Yeah,
and good, get on them.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, now's as good a time as any. Just get it done.
Exactly.
Halo will not be launching with campaign multiplayer or Forge modes this holiday. In an IGN article written by Matt Kim, a quote from Joseph Staten in the update video that was posted on the Halo blog. Quote, unfortunately, as we focused the team on for shutdown and really focused on a quality experience for launch, we made the really tough decision to delay shipping campaign co-op for launch. And we also made the tough call to delay shipping Forge past launch as well. End quote. Staten, reading from the article by Matt Kim, saying Staten confirmed that the team is taking a seasonal release schedule for the campaign co-op and Forge. While Halo Infinite will launch with single player mode and season 1 of multiplayer, Staten says the team is aiming to release campaign co-op in season 2 and Forge in season 3. Staten clarified that a new season will ship every 3 months, meaning that campaign co-op will not be released until 2022, most likely if assuming the holiday season begins in November. Now, there was kind of a mixed bag online of reactions to this. There were people saying, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, I can live
Really?
without it. And then other people, a lot of other people were saying, how are 343 doing this? These are two integral parts of Halo. How can they not be launching without them? And I am definitely on that side.
It's funny you say it was a mixed bag of reactions. I didn't see a mixed bag. I saw a full bag, and it was just one side. And when I read the announcement, I was like, well, when I read the news, I was like, man, that's surprising, but okay. I was like, surprising, but I guess they're doing what they got to do. It's not too big a deal. Proceeds to go on Twitter in every comment section on these articles, and I'm just like, oh, so clearly I underestimated how important campaign co-op specifically is to Halo fans. Forge, if anything had to be cut, like delay it, I guess. I understand people like Forge, but from all the reactions I saw, some people were disappointed about Forge, but nowhere near as disappointed about campaign co-op. Because I mean, Forge, yeah, it's fun for like the map editing and I guess mode creation as well. Yeah. But that's a smaller niche as opposed to campaign co-op and all. So seeing how many, like, I understand people love playing the campaigns for their friends and everything like that, but I did not think that it was as important to Halo fans as I found out it was yesterday. So yeah, I do think it's very surprising that they are doing this. And they're pushing it to season 2, they said. So about 3 months, meaning end of January, beginning of February. Depending on when Halo Infinite comes out, of course, and depending on when the first season actually starts. This first season might not start day 1 of launch. I mean, Call of Duty, when those games come out, season 1 doesn't start day 1. Season 1 starts a few weeks after launch. Yeah. So I mean, it depends on how they approach the season release here. But yeah, I'm surprised. I want to hear your reaction, like more of your thoughts on them delaying these 2 modes before I kind of give more of my thoughts on it, though.
Yeah, so I think I had a similar reaction to you when I first saw it. I was like, oh, that's unfortunate, but it's not something that's going to affect me massively, I don't think. So I'm like, if they're not ready, they're not ready. Like I would rather have, like, if the campaign of Halo Infinite is ready to ship, then ship it, is kind of my take on it. Is like, the game's already been delayed a year. It's Xbox's first like major title releasing for Series X. So like if the campaign is ready to go, then ship it. And I can personally wait for campaign multiplayer in Forge. I was actually more upset is a strong word, but I was actually more upset that Forge was delayed than campaign multiplayer, because I'm somebody who will like go and like boot up Halo and just mess about in Forge for an hour if if I'm bored. But like thinking about it afterwards, I was like, wait, no, this campaign multiplayer is actually a big deal. Like Halo is like quintessentially a multiplayer game. That's like you have been able to play almost every, in fact, I think every Halo multiplayer. I don't know about Halo 1. Well, I mean, you can play through the Master Chief Collection.
No, every Halo, if I'm right, because I read this yesterday, every Halo except for 5 launched with split screen co-op for the campaign.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, while it's not a big deal to me, I understand that, like, Halo has been like the couch co-op game for Xbox since Xbox has been around. So yeah, it's a big deal, and I am upset that I can't hop in and play it with my friends at launch. I'm gonna have to wait until probably next year. I'm still of the opinion that it's a big deal, but like I say, for me personally, it's not something that, like, is a deal breaker. Is gonna mean that, like, oh, I hate the game, it's not launching with campaign co-op. Like, it's not something that's essential for me, but would be very, very, very nice to have.
Yeah. And like I saw people online, some of their reactions, they were like, man, this sucks. I always do the campaign with my friends, whenever we get a Halo game. And now it's like it's not becoming until 3 months later, which means I'm probably gonna get spoiled on it in the time that, like, before, like, we do it all together. It's just like, in my mind, this is just me. I'm looking at it, I'm like, if you care about spoilers, just play it solo. Like, the campaign is still gonna be there. You can still enjoy it with your friends. And I understand that first time going through it with friends, that first time experiencing things with others is not the same. Like, it's different. It's very different than everyone's done it already together, and now we're doing it again for everyone's done it on their own. Now we're doing it together for the first time.
Yeah,
I understand that experience is different, but if spoilers are that big a deal to you, you will play this when you can, as soon as you get it. You'll play this day one, so you don't get spoiled in the campaign, because things have already leaked. Spoilers are going to be out there before the game even comes out, I'm sure. Like, I mean, like, I'm sure people will get the game early and stuff is going to be out there. So if you are that worried about spoilers, you'll play it day one. All that being said, I think this then comes down to another conversation of what is the state of this game? Because it was already delayed a year, and when they delayed it a year, which shocked everyone, but we were all like, good move, good on you for doing that, and needs the delay. But it kind of begs the question, what state would the game have been in when it came out? And this is like the first question. Like, what state would the game have been in when it came out, if it came out last year? Would campaign co-op have been there? Would Forge have been there? What would have been there? What would have been missing? And the things that were there, what state would they have been in if the game had actually released last year, right? And I think that would have been a very, very poor state for that game. And then, they delayed it. And then after that delay, they said, okay, everything is good. Now we're really just in the polishing phase. But here we are, we're dropping features. And I understand pandemic, totally screwing up game development, and game development's already difficult as it is. But it begs the question of, were they really just downplaying how severe the game's issues were in this year since the delay happened? And I've always been on the mindset of they're probably downplaying this a lot to make people like not panic and worry about the game. But it really makes me wonder, okay, now we're dropping campaign co-op and we're dropping Forge. Forge, again, understand, very niche. I'm sorry, Keiran, but I understand it has a more of a niche appeal than campaign co-op. And then the other things, that is something that can easily be dropped and all like that. But like, if I'm right, the reasoning that Joseph Staten gave for dropping the campaign co-op was because he said that since the game is open world, or has more of an open world aspect to it with the campaign, it's a bit more difficult to get that really functioning in terms of in a co-op space with saves and so on and so forth. But I mean, I really just wonder, like, okay, we're delaying this. They're doing anything and everything in their power to try and make this game drop this holiday season, which kind of makes me wonder, again, A, what is the state of this game going to be when it releases? And two, is this game going to get delayed again? And I am of the mindset that they will not delay this game again, or that they will try everything in their power to not delay it again, because they haven't put a release date on it. All they have said is just holiday 2021. They haven't actually set a date. Although Phil Spencer says we have a date in mind, we're waiting on other third party things to like, be announced and worked around and stuff. So I'm sure they have a date in mind they want to come out. And I'm sure they haven't said it because they were waiting for those other dates to come out. But I'm sure part of why they also haven't said it is because they want to have that cushion of let's not say an official date and then delay it in case we need to delay it and we might have to delay this game again.
Yeah.
And if it gets delayed, which would definitely be another major blow to Xbox for its holiday season, 2 holidays in a row, and 2 landmark monumental holidays for Xbox and then Halo as well, like back to back.
Yeah.
It would be a blow for sure. And fans would be disappointed. But it would definitely be in the game's service, of course, if it got delayed.
Yeah.
Even if it was only 3 months, 4 months. I can see that being how far they delay this. I don't think they would delay it a whole other year, but I could see them delaying it to by the end of March. If that's like, when their fiscal year stuff ends, I imagine they will want to try to get it out before the end of the fiscal year. So by March.
Yeah, 100%. They would want to release it by the end of fiscal year 21. I am also of the mindset this game is not getting delayed again. That's why they're coming out with this news saying, okay, we're not going to launch it with this feature or this feature. Like, there's a certain number of things you can cut from a Halo game when it launches. It sure as hell isn't going to be campaign, and it sure as hell isn't going to be multiplayer. If you have to cut things, I think these make sense as much as I wish they were there.
Yeah, definitely.
Which leads me to believe this game is launching this holiday, and I'm pretty sure one of our later stories was that third party what third party thing they were worried about.
Real quick, I don't know if you noticed it, but you just zoomed in on yourself.
Did I?
Yep, you zoomed in on yourself like mid-sentence. When you clicked and zoomed in on yourself. It was just like
effect.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, enjoy the close-up of my face, I guess.
It's not that close, but we're zoomed in a bit.
Oh well. Why did it do that? That's really weird. Anyway, yeah, so now that Call of Duty's announced their date, which again we'll talk about in a little bit, but now they've announced their date, I'm pretty sure we are going to get a Halo date very soon. I don't want to say Gamescom because I feel like they already have that show. I mean, it's in 3 days. They already have that show planned, scheduled, scripted. Like they could change things last minute because they still have a little bit of time, and a release date wouldn't extend that show by anything. It would just be, here's the date. And honestly, I wouldn't put it past them to have like one trailer for if, Call of Duty didn't announce their date, and one trailer and if they did, so that so that they have a date finalized. But yeah, I mean, I definitely don't see this game getting delayed again. If they are, yeah, I don't see this game being delayed again. They are launching it this holiday. It's the 20th anniversary of Xbox, 20th anniversary of Halo. So this game is coming out this year. If I wouldn't be surprised if they cut a few more features.
You see, but if they have to cut a few more features, it then again begs the question of should you just delay the game, honestly, at that point?
Yeah.
Because now I just remembered a conversation that I saw, or a point I saw someone make online. That being that Halo is available through Game Pass, obviously, but of course you could also buy the game separately without campaign co-op, right? As it stands right now, you buy Halo, you're paying $60 for the campaign. The multiplayer is free to play. You don't need to pay for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So it kind of begs like when you're taking more stuff out of it, right? Yeah. It kind of begs the question of why would someone pay for Halo?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're an Xbox owner, 9 times out of 10, you probably have Game Pass already. 9 times out of 10, you probably do. And most likely you're going to play through Game Pass anyway. it begs the question of, okay, well, why am I going to pay for this when I could just get the regular multiplayer for free if I can't do the campaign co-op with my friends? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I mean,
it's an
exactly.
interesting point, and I wonder how much the game will sell. Actually, it was something I never thought about before all this news, but it's actually a good point of if the campaign is what you have to buy the game for and the multiplayer is free, what are the sales going to be like for the game?
Yeah, and I think that's a very valid point as well. Is like this game needs to be good. This game needs to sell well. So
Yeah,
removing all these features is giving people less and less reason to pick this game up. Like you say, like nine times out of 10, people someone who's gonna have Game Pass to play this game with. Or I mean, like you say, you can get your first month of Game Pass for $1. So I mean, sign up for Game Pass and try Halo. But
yeah,
like you say, multiplayer is free, isn't gonna have co-op, isn't gonna have Forge. The only thing you are paying for is campaign. And that has to be one hell of a good campaign for $60-$70. Although I think Microsoft has said that they aren't charging $70 yet for games.
right. I
So
think this one is still 60.
yeah. So I mean, even still, like that has to be one hell of a campaign for $60.
Mm-hmm.
And 343 doesn't have the best track record with Halo campaigns.
Right. I
So
personally liked 4. I know a
I
lot of
like
people don't
4 as
like
well.
5. Yeah, I didn't play 5 yet. I don't know a lot of people just like do not like 5. So like they're 1 and 2 for, for Halo campaigns out here.
Yeah. I mean, like I've seen this expression going around online a lot, but it's like Halo 4. Halo 4 was an okay game. It was a mediocre Halo game. Halo
Mm-hmm.
5 was just a bad game.
I can't speak to that because I mean I like each of the Halo games I played. I liked
Yeah.
4 quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I really like 4 as well. I actually got the collector's edition of 4 for my birthday one year with the flip it. I'll have to find it,
Yeah.
um, but no, I really liked 4. I didn't mind 5 when
Mm-hmm.
like I mean I've said this before. I'm not very critical of things. Like I enjoy most things I play, unless it's like extremely poorly made or just something that doesn't interest me. Chances are I'm at least going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
But like I completely understand why a lot of people didn't like Halo 5.
Mm-hmm.
So 343 really need to step up with this Halo. This game cannot score below an 8. It can't. Other
Yeah.
like and although something that I like that Phil Spencer said, and I'm not quoting him exactly because I can't remember it word for word, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it was in his when he was on podcast Unlocked a month and a half ago, something like that.
Some time ago. I think I
Yeah,
know what you're about to say because I vaguely remember this.
yeah. It's like if this Halo game is bad, it's not the end of 343. Like
Right.
it's not like, oh yeah, you've messed up. Like you only get a certain number of chances before you're done. Like that's not the
Yeah.
way that Microsoft operates. They don't like don't develop through fear.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I don't remember if he said it specifically about 343, but I remember he has said that Halo isn't going anywhere.
yeah, it was in response to a question that I think it was Destin Legary who asked it.
Mm-hmm.
And the question was something along the lines of like if 343 what it was something along the lines of like if 343 don't do well on this Halo, then is that what happens to them? Um, so it's like, yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that if this Halo game is bad, then 343 is done. They're finished. But I think if this Halo game scores anything less than an 8, they have to reevaluate what they're doing. And from some of the stuff we've heard that's going on behind the scenes at 343 with all of the people who leave, all of the temps, all of that stuff, it's understandable why some games from them are less than good. So
Yeah. And I mean, they have the cushion this time around though
yeah,
of the game being live service. And because of that, they can kind of like, which it's sad. It's a sad state. It's also very annoying, just like in the games industry in general. But like a game that's a live service game could come out and be not that great and then evolve over time and be actually good or great or amazing and all. You look at Sea of Thieves, turns out it came out, it was like, I think the general reception was like, it's fun, but nothing really all that amazing. And years later, it's like, it's actually it's really good game. Some would even say it's a great game. You look at a game like, I guess you could say Destiny in a sense, although Destiny has its ups and downs all around and everything like that and stuff. But I mean, Destiny, its start came out, was like, okay, like it had good fundamentals, but everything else was kind of like all right. And then over time, it just got better and better and better. And that's like Halo has the benefit of that now. Like they have that benefit of saying, okay, we won't have campaign co-op or Forge at launch, but we'll add them in a couple months. And the next one will come in a couple months after that. So like if the campaign sucks, maybe like I think they've said that like they'll be doing adding story stuff over time, like with their live service in the coming years. So like if the main campaign isn't that good at launch, there could possibly be better campaign stuff or better story stuff that gets added in the months and years after launch. But I mean, how much does that salvage the game, the base game? How much does that salvage the main campaign of it?
Yeah.
I mean, multiplayer looks amazing. And from what we've heard, everything, it was really great. And like it seems like it's gonna be a really good time. So it seems like the multiplayer area is covered, but the campaign is what everyone's worried about. And you can't really salvage a campaign for a shooter after launch, no matter how live service your game is. You can't really salvage it. No matter how much they want to, like, Phil Spencer would like to try and sugarcoat things and make things seem better than they are. There was a lot riding on Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
There was a lot. And I know he will never say it because he's in charge. You want to put on a good image, good face for your company and stuff. But there was a lot riding on it. And this news isn't making anyone feel more comfortable about the game. I'm sure many would just prefer the game be delayed. That way these things could be in there when it comes out. Or at least like I have said, we both said it. It's not the end of the world that campaign co-op's not there. Forge, maybe for Keiran, but not the end of the world that campaign co-op and Forge are not there. But it is definitely a disappointment. And I just sincerely hope this game comes out like good. I hope it comes out at bare minimum good.
Yeah. Couple of things. One, just kind of to tag on to something that you said. Congratulations to Rare for breaking their player record in June.
I forgot about that. Yes.
4.8 million people tuned in June to play Sea of Thieves, which is down to a pirate's life. But
yes, of course.
Yeah. But even still, it's pretty damn impressive.
That's very good for them.
And second thing, I mean, Phil Spencer's never going to come out and say, "Oh yeah, no, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot riding on Halo. 343 do well." Like, because if he did that, everyone would be like, "Oh damn, wait, Halo's bad. Wait, what?" Like, he has to be the hype. Like, he's the head of Xbox. He has to be the hype man. He can't come out and like I say, if he came out and was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, maybe don't get your hopes up for Halo Infinite," everyone would be like, "Oh, okay then." So like, yeah.
And then the team at 343 over there being even more pressured and stuff like, "Oh boy."
Yeah.
Even Phil is saying it.
Yeah, it's
publicly
like,
now.
People like crying in their cubicles like, "Phil doesn't believe in me."
Oh boy.
But yeah, no, it's like he's never going to come out and say that. But I never believe PR speak, because PR speak is designed to make your product sound better than it is. Mm-hmm. So, like, take everything like any person from a company says ever with a grain of salt, because they are gonna big up their product so it sells more, so they make more money, so they make more products. But that's not to say that like every company has its own like hype man that's like completely misleading you on how the product's going to be. But yeah,
just use your own head, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Just use your own head. Like, of course, if you want to buy into the hype, but also just keep a level head and be like, all right, is this them just trying to get me excited, or like what did things actually look like at all?
Yeah. Prime example, Cyberpunk 2077.
Literally took the words out right out of my mouth.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of all I have to say on Halo stuff. But yeah, I'm still excited for Halo. I'm bummed that campaign co-op isn't going to be there. Even more bummed that Forge isn't going to be there because, like I say, I enjoy playing Forge. But yeah, I mean, I think we're both kind of of the same mindset. Like it's not the end of the world. It's not going to break the game, but it is a little. It's disappointing that it's not going to be there. Speaking of things that aren't going to be there at launch, I'm not going to be there at launch for the release of our next topic, which is Call of Duty Vanguard. Yeah,
that was a good segue. At first, I was like, "Wait." When you said what you said, I'm like, "Wait, what? Where is he going with this?" And then you brought it together. I was like, "Ah, okay, that works."
Yeah, I thought I'm segue. So yes, Call of Duty Vanguard has officially been revealed by Activision. It is launching on November 5th, 2021, on PS4, PS5, Series X and S, and PC. Last gen versions, so Xbox One and PS4.
I was about to be like, wait, you're just gonna leave out Xbox One there because you didn't have that written here.
Oh, well, it's launching on Xbox One too because I forgot to put that in the doc. Yeah, last gen versions, PS4, Xbox One will cost $59.99. Current gen versions, Series X and S, PC, and PS5 will be $69.99, so a $10 premium for next gen. The open beta access is first on PlayStation. I don't know if we have a date for that. I don't think so.
I don't believe there's a date, but I know they say if you pre-order, you get early access to the beta on PlayStation. But even if you don't pre-order, the beta will be first on PlayStation.
Yeah, because of that whole terrible deal that I hate so much. Now, main reason I'm not going to be there, World War II setting. Not for me. I am so burnt out on World War II games.
You know what's funny? I keep seeing all these people say, man, we've had so many World War II games, it's tired of them. I'm just like, I mean, have we really had that many in the past couple years? We really haven't. Prior to Battlefield 1, which was World War 1, we had it, if I'm right, we hadn't had a major World War II game in a while. And people were clamoring for World War II. So we got Battlefield 1, and then Battlefield 5 came out, whatever year that came out. And then Call of Duty World War II was 2017. That's just 3 major World War 1/2 games. And I will say a 3 to 4 year time span. That's not good. No, 3 years sounds way more accurate, actually. So a 3-year time span. And since then, since the last one of those, we haven't had any since then. Which is why I'm just like, where's everyone saying like the time? Like, we've only had 3 in the past decade. What are we talking about here? Like, because prior to that, it was all like modern stuff, and like some futuristic stuff, and people were clamoring for a return to World War II. And then we get that, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm tired of it. I'm burnt out on it. I want the modern stuff." I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm clamoring for World War II either. I'm not. Like, I would have preferred modern day or futuristic again. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, man, we've gotten so many of these. I'm tired of them. Does anyone remember the PS2 days or the 360 days where it was just like a bunch of where it was literally World War II a way more? Let's remember now. Things could have been worse.
Yeah, I like my favorite Call of Duty was Infinite Warfare, and then it was Modern Warfare. So like I'm not a fan of the like World War II, World War I, Cold War settings. Like it's not something that interests me. I like that's why I'm absolutely picking up Battlefield 2042 is because it's modern day futuristic kind of setting. If Call of Duty returned to that kind of setting, I would buy it in a heartbeat. But I am not a fan of the old war settings for games.
Before we get too deep into this, also real quick, I just want to say again as a reminder, remember everybody that Call of Duty is published by Activision, who is being sued by the state of California. as we talked about a couple times, many times on this show, being sued by the state of California for allegations of sexual harassment, fostering a culture in which sexual harassment, sexual discrimination, pay disparities, so on and so forth, have been fostered in their frat boy-like workplace culture. And of course, the employees over there held walkouts. They have sent out open letters basically saying that they are tired of it. They want better conditions. And that is the state of things going on over at Activision Blizzard. So it's something to keep in mind whenever talking about Call of Duty. If it doesn't matter to you, that's your prerogative. It's just something to keep in mind, and something that I feel like we should definitely just mention whenever we talk about an Activision game, whether it be this or World of Warcraft, Diablo, what have you. Just feel like it's something just to put out there. That way it's not just like that happened, but we don't care, kind of sort of, as if kind of forgetting about it. So my apologies, Keiran. Continue.
No, not at all. It's a very good point to bring up. Now, Vanguard will have full Warzone integration. I don't know exactly what that means as of yet, but I'm sure we'll get more details before launch.
I can explain a bit of that for you if you want.
Sure, go for it.
So based off what I have read and heard and listened to, basically Modern Warfare came out and then Warzone came out. Warzone was themed around Modern Warfare. Black Ops Cold War came out sometime after that. The map in Warzone, they added a new map that was themed around Black Ops Cold War, but then the main map, Verdansk, was totally changed. So now it's now 80s themed, and it's all like themed around Black Ops Cold War. So what they're saying here is when this new one comes out, unlike with Black Ops Cold War, where the integration happened like after launch, when Vanguard comes out on day one, I believe they're saying on day one when it comes out, Warzone is going to get a brand new map for that's themed around Vanguard. It'll either get a new map that's themed around Vanguard, or it will get a new map and the main Verdansk map will be themed around Vanguard. One of the two or both. Weapons from Vanguard will be available in Warzone for use. Like that's what they mean. It's going to be like fully integrated, and you'll be able to level up in Warzone by playing either Modern Warfare, Black Ops Cold War, or Vanguard, or Warzone, like the battle pass that they all share. You can level up that battle pass across all of the games.
Okay. That's actually pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And Zombies is being done by Treyarch, continuing the story they've been doing in Black Ops Cold War. It is a prequel to that story. I am, again, not picking up the game, so this doesn't really affect me in any way. But
see, the Zombies thing is actually really surprising because Treyarch typically, the only time they lead Zombies is on Treyarch games.
Yeah.
They never have like led Zombies on a different company's game. So this is the first time that they're doing that, which is surprising and also disappointing / worrying in a sense. Surprising because again, it's like, wow, they're actually doing this. And wow, it's not like they're like doing a separate thing for this game. Like they're doing a prequel to their own story in this one. Like, wow, okay. Shocking. I'm not a really Zombies person. I haven't been since like Black Ops 1, but I mean, it's so cool. Where it's disappointing and worrying for me personally, and I'm sure for many, is the fact that ever since Black Ops 3, Treyarch has just not had a break. Like Black Ops 4 was like had so many development issues behind the scenes, which is why that game did not have a campaign. It kind of would like they kind of rushed out the Blackout Battle Royale mode for that game. Although it was good, it was fun. Like it was kind of like put together, kind of sort of last minute. But that game had a lot of development troubles. And then after Black Ops 4 came Modern Warfare, if I'm right? Yeah. Then came Modern Warfare. And then the next year was supposed to be Sledgehammer's game. But Sledgehammer and Raven, that wasn't happening. It wasn't working out. So then Treyarch was brought in. So the Sledgehammer was dropped. Treyarch was brought in to assist Raven on Black Ops Cold War, which is why we have Black Ops Cold War. So basically, Treyarch didn't get the 3-year development they were supposed to. They got 2 years right there. And now a year right after that game, they're working on zombies for this game. Like, when do they get a break? They
Yeah,
have
I know.
not had a break since Black Ops. Like, Black Ops 3 was the last one where they had their full development cycle for it.
Yeah.
Since then, they have just not had a chance to have their own proper amount of time to make a game. And I think that kind of speaks to the quality of their games as well. Like Black Ops 4, I enjoyed Black Ops 4 actually. I had a lot of fun with it, played it a whole lot, but it wasn't as good. I guess it depends on how you look at it, but I enjoyed Black Ops 4 a lot. But I mean, you can look at it and see, be like, all right, it's not as good as Black Ops 3. And then Black Ops Cold War, the quality again, like it's a fine game. It's not bad, but it's like a step down again from what came before.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that their next game, like they're able to make it good. And I'm hoping that this doesn't like really affect the development of their next game, because they just need a break, man. They need a break.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to go from being used to being on a 3-year dev cycle for your game to, hey, you're going to work on every Call of Duty game every year now. That's I would imagine, a little bit stressful, especially when you are also trying to develop your own Call of Duty game at the same time as going to help out all these other developers. So I'm with you. I hope they get a break at some point. I also hope that their next Call of Duty game doesn't suffer because they are basically being told, hey, you are going to help these companies with these things.
Right, because their next one would be coming out in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's 2023. So, I mean, hopefully it works out for them to really, like, honestly, I really truly do hope it does work out for them.
Yeah.
Interesting note also, that every Activision studio is working on this game, with the exception of obviously Infinity Ward. Infinity Ward is working on their own game.
Yeah.
But every Activision studio is working on Call of Duty. You have Treyarch on this one, helping out with this one. Sledgehammer's on this one. Raven's on Warzone. Toys for Bob, Vicari, all these different companies are like working on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I said this game specifically, maybe not this one specifically, but like all of their studios are working on Call of Duty. I mean, we talked about this a few months ago, actually, when the news like that Vicarious Visions wasn't going to be doing Tony Hawk anymore.
Yeah.
That Toys for Bob wasn't going to be doing Spyro. They're moving on like Call of Duty stuff. It's just like, yeah, that's disappointing. It's just disappointing when you see the game and product. It's like, man, it's sad to see where all that talent is now being used when you know what they can do.
Yeah.
And other things you would want from them.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted a Spyro 4 from Toys for Bob, so I'm upset I'm not getting that because they've been told, hey, you have to work on our moneymaker now. So
yeah,
but yeah, just once again, releasing November 5th for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and PC.
Yeah, I realized.
No, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say I realized I actually never like gave my thoughts on the game. So I saw the trailer and I was like, like it doesn't look bad. It looks cool. Like the story that they're going for is interesting and everything like that. The setting, obviously not my cup of tea. Well, not what I would have preferred this year, but still fine. We're gonna be getting actual gameplay revealed during Gamescom on Wednesday, the 25th. So that's what we'll be getting, like our first actual real gameplay look at it and all. So more reservations, more like thoughts can be saved for then, seeing like what the actual game is actually playing like and everything. This is more just like a cinematic trailer, getting an idea with the story and all like that. It seems fine. So this is actually something I've been thinking about for the past couple of weeks prior to this. And that the thing of supporting Activision games, like buying Activision games. So I know when we talked about it on either the first or the second episode, we talked about all the Blizzard stuff. I had said that I wasn't going to be like getting any Activision games for the foreseeable future. And since then, I've thought about it more and I've read different things that people have said. And one thing that really resonated with me was that None of the devs are asking for
Yeah, like for us to
what's the
boycott the
word?
games.
There you go. Boy, I'm thinking blackout or balk out. I'm like, that's not the word at all. Boycott. No one's asking for a boycott. They want us to still support the games, but they also want us to keep pressure on Activision in terms of, demanding change and making sure the employees are taken care of and so on and so forth. If someone wants to boycott, by all means they can. But just straight up dropping support for the games would and undoubtedly harm the devs more, because it's like there's so many people that are passionate about what they're making. They want it to be enjoyed, and they want the product that they're working on is now being like mixed in and covered by this dark cloud that is the Activision lawsuit that's has been brought against them and everything like that. And all these people they've been working on it, you don't buy the game, you don't support the game, that trickles down to them in terms of like people will possibly get laid off if number of sales aren't there, so on and so forth. You get what I'm going for.
Yeah.
So thinking about all that, and then after the game was revealed and seeing some of the people in the industry say, tweeting out like, I worked on that. I'm so proud of what we did. Like, it's so awesome to finally be able to say that, say that I'm working on this game. Like, I kind of decided this last week, and I meant to mention it on the show last week. I just forgot to. But I think that I will still purchase Activision games and play Activision games, but with the mindset of this is what's happening behind the scenes and this needs to change, and still being outspoken about how these things need to be changed and not just forgetting it and just leaving it in the past. Like, all right, that happened. Anyway, moving on. Here's Call of Duty, and this game is awesome. It's amazing, and so on and so forth. So you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm still myself personally, I'm still on the fence about getting Vanguard, not because of that, but more so because I wasn't really that big a fan of Black Ops Cold War, to be honest. And I'm already not too hot on a World War II setting. But of course, I'll play the beta, and that'll really decide whether or not I get the game. So, I mean, maybe I'll still get it just because I've played every Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2. So maybe I'll still get it just to be able to have perspective on each game and release and how they are and everything like that. But I'm not that excited for this one. I'm not as excited for this one as I was for like Modern Warfare. That was the last one I was truly excited for. Yeah. Black Ops Cold War, I was like looking forward to it, but this one even more. Battlefield is the shooter this season that like I am all in on entirely. So yes, I will play Activision games. I will play the beta for this, but I will still, certainly be mentioning whenever we talk about an Activision game that they are being sued and the terrible things going on over there.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like I thought a similar thing over the last like probably week and a half, 2 weeks. Like basically ever since the story first broke, and I had said like, oh, I'm not playing Overwatch. I'm not buying Diablo 2. I've been playing Overwatch, like not a huge amount, definitely not as much as I was, but like I'll hop on for like a game every now and then. But like it boils down to the same thing you said, is like the less I play the games, the more it's going to affect the devs. If everyone just stops playing Overwatch or WoW or Call of Duty or whatever, then the devs are the ones that are going to suffer, because like the CEOs and the higher ups with probably 7 figures in their bank account, they're not really going to be bothered. But maybe lower level devs, mid level devs are probably going to get affected by that. Layoffs might happen. So, sorry, were you going to say something?
No, I was just thinking. I mean, I was going to say it a bit after, but what I was going to say was like, kind of. I also was thinking like, someone else I saw online said this as well weeks ago, but it was like it'd be kind of empty of it. They were like, I think it said it'd be kind of empty of them to like boycott Activision games when they really don't even play any of them anyway.
Yeah,
and like I was like, it's a good point. The only one I play from them really is Call of Duty. I have the Crash thing in my library. That's on the PlayStation Plus collection, the trilogy. I have it in my library. I haven't gotten to it, but I want to play it, and I do want to play Crash 4. Overwatch is the only other one I play, but that's once in like every now and then I play Overwatch. If I like want to play a shooter that's not intense and I just want to like kick back and relax, I'll pop in Overwatch.
Yeah.
But other than those, well, other than that, Call of Duty is the only one that I regularly play. So it'd be weird for me to be like, not playing any more Activision games, although I only ever really played one. It just a bit weird and I guess a bit empty. So yeah, that was another like decision. Well, a factor in my decision.
Yeah, and I think I'm the same way because the only Activision or Blizzard game I really play right now is Overwatch. The only one I was planning on playing was Diablo 2 Resurrected until Diablo 4 came out. But like I mean, like I was saying, it boils down to I think the same thing as you, where it's like if I don't play these games, if everyone boycotts these games, then the devs are the ones that are going to suffer. So it doesn't make sense in my head to entirely boycott everything Blizzard and everything Activision and make sure that I'm spreading the word. Oh, you should be boycotting this and you should be boycotting that. Like that's not the kind of person I want to be. Is like, oh, just because the people at the top have like fostered this environment doesn't mean that the entire company should suffer. And by that, I mean the devs who were working on the games. Because like I've said a couple times, the people who are going to suffer are the devs. So
yeah,
like I said, I've been playing Overwatch, not as much as I was, but every couple of games. I'm not, not that I did this before, but I am absolutely not buying loot boxes or anything like that. That's kind of I guess you could say like the compromise I've come to where like I'll still play the game, but I'm not giving them any money for it. But yeah, like yeah. The I also realized I haven't given my thoughts on the game either.
Share the thoughts.
I'm not getting it. It's World War II game, not my thing. The only thing that would make me get this game is Laura Bailey's in it, who is on Critical Role, and I will support anything that they do, but not this. Not something that I am going to be picking up. Still haven't bought Cold War because it didn't interest me. The last Call of Duty game that I played was Modern Warfare, which is my favorite Call of Duty game. So yeah. The trailer looked cool, right? The trailer looked it was well made. It was intriguing. It made me think for a second, oh hey, maybe I should get this. And then I was like, oh wait, no, you don't want to. So yeah.
Yeah, again, just waiting on the gameplay. I gotta play it to really get a feel for myself.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still intrigued to see gameplay, so I still want to see what it looks like. But also I bet you $1. I bet you $1 that it's going to come up when they show gameplay saying captured on PS5 instead of PC.
Oh, yeah, it will. I'm pretty sure I said that for the last one. So it'll say PlayStation 5, most likely.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought, because I always assume that if a game is releasing on PC, that's where they're going to capture their footage. Because that's where, you have like the ultimate control. You can go in and control like the entire graphical suite and you can control everything about it. But I don't know.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure like Deathloop, for example, I'm pretty sure that says like gameplay captured on PlayStation 5.
Fair.
So I'm pretty sure like this will say the same thing if it says it at all.
Yeah. Well, ignore everything I just said. I didn't. Anyway, I'm not buying Vanguard.
Yeah, I was gonna say even the Halo Infinite stuff that we saw in the past. I'm pretty sure that was like I thought that said captured on Xbox Series X.
It did. I thought it did. It did, but I had assumed that's because like they want to show off the power of the Series X because it's a first party game. For third party games, I assume it's captured on PC.
I mean, I could also be very wrong, just misremembering things, but I imagine it'll say PS5.
Something that's not going to say PS5 is Pokemon.
It will not. It will never say PS5.
No. Yes, there was a Pokemon showcase that happened earlier this week in which we got new footage for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Arceus. There you go.
I always mispronounce that first time. But another announcement that we got was Pokemon Unite is coming to mobile and getting 2 new characters. I didn't see who those characters are because I have absolutely no interest in playing Pokemon Unite.
Neither do I, but apparently the game was really fun, but also like really pay to win. No, not really pay to win, but like if you do pay, you win. Like big time.
Yeah, I've a couple of my Twitch friends have been like really heavily playing this game. Like it looks like it's basically League of Legends but Pokemon is the easiest way I
Basically,
can describe it.
baby's first Pokemon.
Yeah,
I mean, not baby's first Pokemon, baby's first MOBA.
yeah, it's a MOBA. But um yeah, I mean it looks okay, I guess, but I have absolutely no intention of playing this game. It's
Neither do I. It's here in the dock because I think it's the only other noteworthy thing that came
Yeah.
from that Pokemon presentation.
Yes, we did get a new trailer for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which showed off some new gameplay. It looks like a Pokemon game. That's the best I can do. Like I'm like it's not that I'm not a big well, it's not that I'm not a Pokemon fan because I do like Pokemon. It's just not the kind of game I actively look to purchase.
Mhm.
The last one that I purchased was I think Shield.
I have that one. I haven't finished it. I need to go back to it.
Yeah, I also haven't finished it. I can't remember if I bought Sword or Shield. I think I bought Shield. But
Did you get the one with the sword or the one with like the giant like face?
I can't remember. I would
Red
have
or
to-
blue?
I can't remember. I would have to go and look at my Switch. So yeah, like if you're excited for Pokemon, I'm not trying to take that away from you, but it's not for me. It's not a game that like I say, I actively think, oh yeah, that's coming out. I have to get that.
Mm-hmm. See, I used to be really deep and hard on Pokemon, like back in the day on the Game Boy. Like Emerald is still to this day my favorite. I played that game so much. I loved it. I played Diamond actually on the DS and really enjoyed that one. That was the last one I was really hard on. Because my cousin got me Black too. I played a bit of it. Made it a bit of the ways through it. Never finished it. I didn't. I had a 3DS, but only for Kingdom Hearts. And I had a few other games, but like I didn't bother getting any Pokemon games.
Yeah.
And then Shield, I was like, all right, cool. I'll get Shield. I've played up to the second gym. I'm at the town for the second gym. Have not done anything else for it. I've had that game since launch. I need to go back. I keep telling myself, go back and play it. Go back and play it. Haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
So Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. I'm like, oh, cool. You know what? It's a region. This is the last one that I was really in on, but I'm not all that interested in this one. I think just because my interest in Pokemon has waned over the years.
Yeah.
But also, I'm still not a fan of the art style. I get what they're going for, and to its credit, the game graphically looks better than it did when we first saw it.
Yeah.
It does look better. And also real quick, that trailer was just a lot. Like the random zoom ins on text.
Yeah.
I was just like, what is happening? Why are we doing this? It was really weirdly edited. But all that aside, like I'm just not a fan of like the art style that they're going for. I get they're basically replicating the 2D pixel art style that they had in the DS. Well, not pixel art, but like, was it 2D pixel art? I think that one idea. Diamond. I think Diamond was still in like the traditional Game Boy looking Pokemon aesthetic, because I think the ones after that gave it like a more of a 3D type of look. But they're basically trying to take the original aesthetic of Diamond and Pearl, but then bring it to a more 3D space with chibi looking characters in modern day. It just looks off and cheap to me. I'm just not a fan of it. That being said, I thought there was some cool stuff in the trailer. Like they showed being able to put stickers on your Pokeball. Mm-hmm. I don't think that was in the original, but I'm like, okay, that's neat. Character customization, that's new for this one. I'm like, okay, that's cool. They showed that mining is back. That was something you could do in the original. So I'm like, I remember that. The whole underground section, though, I don't remember if that was in the original game. Articles I saw said it was new, but I thought it was in the original. Like overall, I thought it looked fine. I'm like, okay, I'm still not a fan of your art style, so I'm not in on you on that level alone. I just don't like the look of this. And again, it's more of the classic Pokemon style, which I've kind of gotten over. I'm like, all right, let's try something new, do something new. So that was kind of like where I fell on Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. the real show of this, of the whole Pokemon Presents, and the real star of it for me and for many was Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, I just gave you a nice segue. Keiran, what were your thoughts on it?
I when it was first shown off, I was like, it doesn't look all that impressive. I'm probably not gonna get it. It doesn't look like my kind of thing. Two of those are still true. It still doesn't look like my kind of thing. I'm probably not gonna get it. The game looks good. I like watching this trailer. I was like, this looks a lot better than when I first saw it. So, and like if any Pokemon game was gonna get me interested, this would be the one because it's open world. I really, really, really like how you can like use different Pokemon to ride around in different elements. You can fly, you can ride on the back of one and like over land, you can ride in the water. I really like that. I like that it is this massive open world that's basically like, hey, go around and catch Pokemon. But which I mean, the regular Pokemon games kind of that
it's different. It's very different though. It's not because this is more of an action RPG, whereas the other ones they're more of a regular RPG, but you don't have like you could explore the world, but it's not like this. It's
no.
It's more of a linear world in a sense.
Yeah,
where like you follow the routes and you go down the routes. Whereas this, it's like, hey, you got the whole region to just go explore. I mean, seemingly just go explore at your own pace.
Yeah, no, exactly. This trailer impressed me more than the first one did, but again, Pokemon just isn't my kind of game. As much as I wish that it was, because I know that it's like a super popular game that a lot of people play, and I would love to get into it, but just not my. Yu-Gi-Oh! On the other hand, give me that game all day long.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's time. No, I'm not gonna do it. But no, like yeah. So like, yeah, that like Yu-Gi-Oh was always my card game of choice. But like as a kid, like everyone else at my school was Pokemon, and I was like, no, Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah, game looks cool. Looks different. Not something I'm gonna be playing.
See, so this I think was the game's. I look at this as the game's first real reveal.
Yeah.
Because when we saw it months ago, it was like the briefest of like reveals where like we saw some footage of them running around, saw some footage of them hiding and throwing Pokeballs, and like it was more of a this is a game. Like this is what our vision is for Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is like showing you the vision of where we're taking the series.
Yeah.
And like it was, you could definitely tell it was like early, like the frame rate for some of the footage in that game and that reveal was like rough. It wasn't the best. Now this, months later, it's way more polished. The frame rate's definitely better. We're actually seeing towns and there's more Pokemon out in the open in the like roaming the world. And we see the different exploration elements, like you said, the flying. I think that was the coolest thing for me in the trailer when like she ran and just like jumped off. I was like, oh wait, what? And then I was just expecting a Pokemon to fly up, but then you see her flying on it. I was like, wow. Oh, I was like, we're actually doing this now. We're having so we can fly with our Pokemon. That's cool. And then riding them in the water and then riding the other one on land. I'm like, this is cool. Like this is, I said it before, but this is the Pokemon game that people have dreamed of to an extent. This is the game people have dreamed of and have wanted for so long. And it looks like we're finally getting that type of Pokemon game where you could just go out in the world and explore. It's not a Pokemon MMO like many people would really love, but like this is like the next step. It's like Pokemon is finally actually doing something fresh and new. I mean, barring spinoffs, barring like the mystery dungeon games, is doing something fresh and new. I guess you can include Let's Go in that as well if you want to. But like taking the Pokemon formula and like we're keeping some of the same gameplay elements in terms of like the battles are turn-based and all, and you still have X amount of like chimes to use a certain move and everything like that. You're still capturing the Pokemon, but we're adding crafting, so you can now craft your different Pokeballs while you're on the go if you want. The trailer doesn't show it, but during the presentation, after each of the trailers for this and for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, like they went back and then showed a whole lot more footage and that they talked over. Nintendo, the Pokemon company, for some reason, they don't have those as separate videos on their channels, which is annoying. You only see that if you go back to the actual live stream and rewatch the VOD. But you're able to like craft your Pokeballs and craft items while you're out for resources that you might that you could buy in stores. You could craft it while you're on the go. The combat, the battle system, like I said, it's still turn-based, but it also takes inspiration from Final Fantasy X, if you remember that game, where in that game you see on the side everybody's turn. So who goes when and how many turns a person has and stuff like that. And you see how that changes based on the moves you do in combat in Final Fantasy X. So for example, when you're playing, you could have like Titus could be going now, Yuna could be next, and then it could be like 2 enemies going before someone else goes and someone else goes, and then Titus goes again, right? Let's say it's just like that. If you have Titus use a move called Cheer, then not Cheer. If you have Titus use Haste, that speeds up everyone, makes them get more turns. So before you do it, when you go over Haste, it shows how the turns are going to move around and all like that. Same for if you do a move that is that like slows people down. If you do a move if you do stop or slow, actually is what it's called. If you do slow on the enemy, it shows, all right, if you do slow, their moves will get to move down here and everyone else will be bumped up in terms of turns and stuff like that. Explaining it, I hope it makes sense. If you actually see it, it actually is clearer. So that's going to be here in Legends Arceus with the different styles that they showed. There's like an agile style and a strong style that every Pokemon can do. The agile style, you get more turns, but your attacks are a bit weaker. The strong style, your attacks are way stronger, but you just get a few less turns and all like that. It's interesting. Like it's still like the same type of combat battle system, but different and refreshed. And I'm excited by it. And just the world that's there. I think graphically though, it is a bit rough. Not like, let me rephrase that. I think it looks good enough, but good enough is not good enough. Like given the other games that have come out on the Switch, like Breath of the Wild looks better than this. And Pokemon Snap, granted made by a different company, but Pokemon Snap looks better than this. Like Pokemon Legends, it should look better. I'm sorry, it just should, but it looks good enough to be passable. But like it could just look better. And of course, still in development. It's not coming out till January, so things could get even more polished and stuff. But I think that's my only gripe against it, is that it just doesn't look as good as I would like it to.
But flipping to a positive, this game has something that Pokemon Snap does not.
What's that?
Gyarados.
I didn't realize they didn't have Gyarados.
Yeah, I only know that because one of my friends who plays Pokemon Snap, like every time I speak to him, is like, it still doesn't have Gyarados.
Yes, this one does have Gyarados. It just looks like a really cool game. It looks fun.
Yeah,
I am definitely excited. Well, let me not say excited. I am looking forward to this one more than I have any Pokemon game in recent years. And because of that, I will probably get it. Because it's actually, like I said before, it's Pokemon doing something fresh and new. And I would love to see, I mean, hopefully it's done well, but I would love to see more games from the franchise in this type of style.
Yeah, I am. When you see that shot of like the character running and jumping off the cliff, I half expected the like Dark Souls "You died" to come on screen. I'm like, oh god, it's a Souls like.
That would have been dark. Oh boy.
Yes. If you want to watch any of the Pokemon stuff, then head over to the Pokemon YouTube channel. You can find the trailers for Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Legends Arceus over there.
Yeah.
As well as,
and also if you want, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, if you want actually more details on them, like commentary, watch the full live stream because that's where they give way more context for stuff that they show.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to what we have been playing. I'm going to go first because I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. I've been playing Hades. Like I said, I think I played like maybe a couple hours on Tuesday and then 10 minutes yesterday. That's all I played because I have not had time to play anything else. So I actually played some last Sunday as well, which if you follow me on Twitter, you will see that on Saturday, last Saturday, when I was speaking about Hades, I said I hadn't beaten it yet, and I beat it on Sunday.
Congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
can't physically clap, but clap, 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 clap.
So yeah, I beat it with, I think the first time I beat it with the twin fists, and then I also beat it on Tuesday when I was playing, and I beat it with I can't remember the name of it, but there's this starter weapon. You start off with the sword. I beat it with that. If you watch the gameplay that I uploaded to YouTube, then you will see that like I have quite a few of the upgrades. I've unlocked some of the like later game stuff after you beat it. So if you don't want to see like I suppose you could say spoilers for Hades, then maybe don't watch that video. But just as a fair warning, there is quite a lot of upgrades going on in that.
No, I actually almost bought the game Friday morning.
Almost. No,
Almost.
buy it.
Well, I almost did because I was gonna buy it on the Switch, but then I was like, no, let me not do that because I still if what I was like, if I buy where I buy it is where I want to play it. And if I buy it on PlayStation, no, let me repeat. When I buy it on the Switch, I would like it's a game where I'm like, man, it'd be perfect for the Switch, but I would also like to play on my PS5, right? But the thing is, I don't know how much I'm gonna like it. So I don't want to buy it once and then be like, man, I actually wish I was playing on my PS5 instead.
Yeah.
You know? So I will get it eventually. It's just a matter of the when.
If it were me, I would probably buy it on PS5, and then if I liked it, buy it on Switch so I could play it on the go.
That was my thinking. That's my thinking on this. That way, if I want, I could play it like while I'm at work during my lunch break or something. Just like play some while I'm sitting there, just doing nothing. You know, that's my thought. That's why I was gonna get it on Friday on Switch. I'm like, bring my Switch to me, to work. I would have had time to do it during Friday on this past Friday anyway, because during the summer we get out of work an hour earlier, but because of that, we have half an hour lunch instead of a full hour. And I didn't remember that till I got to work. So I was like, oh, can't play my Switch anyway today. Not gonna have time.
Yeah, so I've now beaten Hades twice. I'm working on a third. Just now I was playing that a little bit earlier today, but that the final fight with Hades is challenging. Sure, it's not as hard as long as you are smart about it. It's okay. Like basically, it took me having, I think like. So you, depending on like the charms you have or like the upgrades that you have, then you start off with no death defiance and I think 50 health. But as you're going through, you can find centaur hearts that will upgrade your health by 25 each. So I think I picked up maybe like 4 or 5 centaur hearts. So I had a fair chunk of health. And it took me, the way I have it set up is I have 4 uses of death defiance, which basically means when you die, you instead of dying, you gain a portion of your health back and you can continue on. And it took me, I think, 3 uses of death defiance to beat him, which it's challenging, but like once you learn his move, like it's the same with any boss in Hades. It's like once you learn their move set, once you like learn, okay, this is when I need to dodge, this is when I can attack, this is when I need to hide, then it's not. It just depends like how lucky you are on that run, I guess. But yeah, I'm very happy I finally beat it.
Congratulations.
I plan to do many, many, many more runs of it. Because it like I've said many times, and I stand by this. It was absolutely my game of the year last year. So yeah, that's kind of my gaming week as I played Hades.
Well, nice. Good for you.
Tyler, what you been playing?
So I played 2 games this week. I'll get this out the way. I finished A Plague Tale: Innocence. That game is really good. It's a really good game. I am very happy I finally got to go through it. Like I said before last week, the game is really, the story is like what that game is all about. The story is the core of that game. It's the crux of that game. It's the best thing about that game. The gameplay, it's it's like I said, it's very simplistic. You go into an area, you're stealthing around enemies, solving puzzles. The puzzles aren't really complex. They don't get much more complex as you go throughout the game. They're all pretty straightforward puzzles to solve. And like as you keep going through the game, you unlock different items that you can craft, like different alchemy type things that you can craft to beat enemies and get through areas and solve puzzles and all. So everything about the game is very straightforward. It's the stealth sections where you're trying to sneak around enemies, very straightforward. Nothing in the game is too difficult at all. There was only one part, like one fight, where I had to like hold off some enemies while my ally tried to open this door. And because the game's a lock-on system, it was kind of working against me. So I was trying to like aim ahead of the person so I could hit them, but it took me a bit. I got through it though. So yeah, gameplay, it's very simple, very straightforward, nothing too complex. The story is really, really good though. It's a really good story. Like that relationship between Amicia and her brother Hugo, it is the beating heart of that game. And I absolutely loved it. I adored it. Every second of it. I was just like, yes, I want the best for you children. You children, like no harm shall come to you. No harm shall come to either of you. And like even the allies that you come across, the other kids that you like kind of form like a fellowship of like a crew with. I was like, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool. All of y'all are cool. I don't want anything to happen to any of you. So I was very happy with how it ended. And I'm very excited to see where the second one goes. The second, like after I beat the game, I rewatched the trailer for the second one. And I'm like, interesting. I wonder what we're like. I wonder how certain things are like being brought into play here. Now that I've watched now that I've watched the trailer for you, I'm like, okay, I know who you are. I know who you are. I'm like, I wonder why this is happening. It's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm very excited for the second one. I will be getting the second one day one next year when it comes out. Definitely play Plague Tale Innocence. It's a good game. And it's also short. I don't think it's any longer than 10 hours, to be honest. It's a pretty short game. So that was the first thing I played this week. So I spent most of my week playing. But then yesterday, Ghost of Tsushima, the PS5 version of the director's cut came out. And I started playing that. Don't start the video just yet, Keiran.
Okay.
Just pull it up.
Yeah.
So my cousin I gave my cousin the game last year so he could play it. And he enjoyed it and everything. So I got it back from him Thursday. I got it back from him. And I popped it in so I could, basically practice with the game again. Refresh myself with it and all. Because Ghost of Tsushima, the combat, you got to remember, like there's complexity to it and fights can be difficult. So I was like, I know I'm going to need to practice just how to play. So spent some time Thursday night practicing, just running around, getting into fights and all like that. It was also my first time playing it on PS5, right? Because the PS4 version is what I did first. Game's still gorgeous, still so gorgeous. And even better is it's automatically 60 FPS. The PS4 version, like in the resolution mode, it was automatically 60 FPS. Never played it like that before. So it was just like so smooth. I was like, oh my gosh, the game looks like even more beautiful like this. So then, geez, loud. So then Friday came around, like midnight, I started the download for it because I knew it was going to take some hours. So I went to work, came back. And then Friday night, I started doing director's cut. And don't start just yet. I'm about to tell you when to start it. Okay. Also, like the PS5 director's cut has the same resolution or performance mode. The game is 60 FPS in both. I don't know what Sucker Punch did over there, but Sucker Punch are just wizards. And like the load times in this game are basically non-existent, just like on the PS4. Nice. Fast travel is basically instant, just like on PS4. It's just amazing. So of course I'm playing in resolution mode, 60 FPS, and the game just looks gorgeous. It just looks so good. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely gorgeous. You're not gonna be able to really see how gorgeous it is in the footage I have here because the footage I have here is at nighttime in a specific area. But if you've played Ghost of Tsushima, you already know the game looks great. So you don't need to really see any more to know that it's a good looking game. So yeah, let's go ahead and start this up here. So this footage I have here, it's me. I'm already on Iki Island, and I'm going to try to go into this place called Fort Sakai, because that is where the Eagle tribe is. That's this tribe of Mongols that has basically taken roost on Iki Island, and they're doing some shady stuff. So the introduction here, this is like the third, I think it's like the second or third main story mission that you have here for this DLC, right? And you're on the main island of Tsushima. You go like you're on the island, and you find out that there's something happening here on Iki Island, right? Because you fight some guys from here, and then you get on your boat, you come over here, and once you get here, you go to find the Eagle, the person that's in charge of the Eagle tribe, right? That is like the Mongols here on Iki Island. So you find out that they're in Fort Sakai. Fort Sakai is, that was a fort that your father had built up. Iki Island is kind of where you first lived when you were younger. You haven't been here since your father died. So this mission here, you're coming into Fort Sakai to try to find the Eagle and like take them out. Obviously, that doesn't pan out at all. This, of course, this is the beginning of the DLC. Yeah. It's not going to happen right away. But this footage here is me doing that mission, just so you have the context for it and everything like that. So let me say this: the DLC, I've already beaten the main game, so I don't know if it's open to you to do before you beat the main game, but this takes place after the main game. And when you first go to it, they tell you, hey, the enemies there are tough. Make sure you're ready. And because of that, I will also say this. If you have not played Ghost of Tsushima since launch, practice before you play because the enemies here are tough. And like in this footage here, I had already played for a bit. But even in this footage, like you could see me still like getting beat up because the enemies here are tough and I was still trying to remember how to play. So the Iki Island enemies, right? The Eagle Tribe Mongols. There are, so far from what I've played, I've only played about 3-4 hours of it, right? After this mission, I didn't do any more main story missions. I did some side stuff, really. But the Eagle Tribe Mongols, they have two main like enemy types that they introduce here. One of them is a shaman, and the shamans are a major threat. You might hear them in the background, like going, like saying, like chanting, doing a chant. The shamans, they chant, and they basically stay in the background of whatever fight is happening. They stay in the distance, and they're doing a chant, and that chant basically makes every enemy only attack. They don't like let up their attacks. They are just constantly coming at you with hits and hits and hits. So you'll see in a moment here, I'm about to be in a fight with basically the entire encampment here. And the shamans are just chanting them on. And I'm just like basically on the defensive the entire time because they're just chanting. So you can kind of see, if you look, there's a person here like holding a spear or a staff that's just kind of standing there. And
the ones with the like things coming out of their like a wave coming out of them.
Yeah. So everyone who has a wave coming out of them is being affected by the chant.
Okay.
And the shaman always stays in the distance. So you kind of see them walking away if we're at the same point. They stay away from the fight so that they can chant without getting hit at all. So like right here, everyone is being chanted on, and I'm just like trying to survive and like take out who I can, but also like make it out of this somehow. And anyone who's being chanted on, not only do they like just mainly come at you with attacks and not let up, they also are harder to kill because I guess they just have more health. Like their health just gets bumped up. They take less damage. So if there's ever a shaman involved in a fight, your main goal should be to kill the shaman immediately. That way you can then focus on everyone else. Then there are some other enemies. Like there's this one guy here, or maybe there are a couple of them here. There are some spear guys who have double-bladed spears. They weren't in the main game. So they bring a whole nother layer. Like they're still spear guys. You can still fight them using the spear stance. I forgot what it's called. You can still fight them using that stance, but you have to be way more careful because their attacks are just way more stronger and they're faster and more aggressive and all. And then all the enemies here on Iki Island, many of them will use 2 different weapon types. In the main game, whenever you came across enemies, they only used 1 weapon. So that could be the sword or shield or spear, or they would be like a big guy, right? But here on Iki Island, you'll come across enemies that use a sword and a spear. So they'll be using the sword for one moment, and then they'll swap to their spear. So then you literally have to switch your stance on the fly against that one person. And it's even more difficult when you have to take into account that there could be 5 different people around you, and you're just having to like constantly swap your stances and block and dodge everything. It's tough. It is not easy in any way, shape, or form. So many of the fights here on Iki Island, like I have barely gotten through because the shamans and just the amount of enemies coming at you, it's a lot. It's really a lot, but it's so much fun. And that's like, it's so much fun. And the challenge of it is just so cool and so great. Of course, again, I'm also trying to remember, like get to grips with how to play and everything like that. But man, the challenge that they bring, it's just, I wasn't prepared for it. I thought I was not. Quickly found that out. But so yeah, like that's some of what I've come across so far. And then there's also a new move you could do on your horse called a horse charge. So when you're riding your horse, you have to spend some resolve to use it. But you hold L1, you basically just charge your horse into a bunch of enemies and knock them all down. It's a cool move. It's like an extra move for you to have in terms of like combat while you're on your horse. Because before you could only just like swing your sword.
Yeah.
Now you could actually charge through people. It's helpful and everything like that. So yeah, like right now, if we're at the same point, I've finished the fight. I'm just kind of looking around, and I'm about to go into the next area. And after this, it's basically going to enter a cutscene where you first meet the leader of the Eagle tribe, because you get captured by her, and she basically talks to you and makes you drink this poison, and this poison has you going back and like remembering things from your past. And from then on in the story, as of right now, while I'm exploring the world, while I'm doing things, at certain points, Jin will have like these moments where like he hears the eagle talking to him in his head, and then like he sees a flash of someone that he knows from like his past, and it's really just him coming to grips with the past, and like the things that he's done and the people that he's known in his past, coming to grips and dealing with all that in this story. And I'm really intrigued by it for sure. Just in terms of really how his father and their history plays onto the island, because the people on the island are mostly raiders, and the raiders don't like Jin's family because his dad, like his family in the past, his dad came and they just like came and like battled everyone on the island. So there's bad blood between Jin and the raiders, or at least Jin's family and the raiders. So that brings another interesting dynamic where people like you meet someone after this cutscene here, after this whole mission, after you meet the eagle, and you tell them I'm Jin from Yarikawa. You don't tell them you're Jin Sakai, because you know that the Sakai name is bad blood over there. And when you go to the island, you're told if you wear the Sakai armor, there's a dye for you to use that covers up the Sakai logo. That way people don't know that you are from that family.
Yeah.
I'm certain it'll come up at some point in time, like in the main story, but it hasn't come up yet. There was a side mission I did where you tell a person that you know your actual name and stuff. And it kind of, this whole situation works itself out, but I'm really interested to see like how things play out in the main story and all. It's really intriguing so far. As for the island itself, it's not a big island. It's a nice sized island though, and I haven't seen all of it. I've only been like in a chunk of it.
Yeah,
but it's a nicely sized island, and if you follow me on Twitter, which you should, you're gonna be seeing a lot of screenshots and stuff because I've already been posted a bunch. But you're gonna be seeing a lot of screenshots from me from this game, because again, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and some of the areas I've been in, like this is one field is just like beautiful, a bunch of nice, colorful, different flowers and everything like that. Um, there's like a shipwreck type area. It all looks really cool. I like the island, I like the areas and the biomes that we kind of have here. And there are some new challenges you can do on the island, like some archery challenges you can do that reward you with charms that increase like just some of your archery skills. But if you want to get like the best score on those archery challenges, you're gonna have to go into it wearing like your archery outfit and like having certain charms and stuff equipped in order to like get the best on it. And then there are also these like animal sanctuaries you could come across where you go to them and then you like do a flute song that your mother taught you back in the day, and you play the song on the flute using the motion controller. So you raise the controller up and down to keep it in tune and stuff. And then I didn't get footage of it here. I was gonna edit stuff together, but I thought, you know what I show here is like a nice little chunk to show, like tease gameplay and everything. But you play a little song and then the animal will come over and you could pet it and everything. So I've done the monkey, I've done the cat, I've done deers. And it's just like you pet it and it's like, oh, you can pet all the ones that are there. It's so nice. It's cool. But yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. Again, I've only played 3-4 hours. There are some other side missions for me to do that have popped up as well. Again, like I loved in the original. You see some people on the road that need help, and you go help them out. And then you talk to them and they're like, yeah, I heard about this thing happening over there. You're like, all right, cool, I'll go check that out. And it pops up on your map. Or you're just like, riding your horse or walking around and then a bird comes by. You're just like, let me follow the bird. Let me see what the bird's going to show me. Or you see smoke up in the distance. Let me go see what that is. Like all that is back here. If you liked Ghost of Tsushima, the Iki Island DLC is more Ghost of Tsushima in the best way. It's just more great gameplay, more of this amazing world, more of this interesting, intriguing story, and that great combat. It's just more of it. If you didn't like Ghost, I don't think this will change your mind on that in any way, shape, or form. But if you were a big fan of the main game, this is something you definitely should play. 100% should play.
Yeah. I've said this for a while. When I get my PS5 eventually, the two games I'm picking up first are Ratchet and Clank and Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm definitely intrigued by this because I have yet to speak to someone who was like, yeah, I didn't like it. So
it's a great game, and this DLC so far, I'm really enjoying it. I would have played some before we hopped on today, but I was tired. I was like, if I do, I will fall asleep while I'm playing that, and I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna do some more tonight, and I'm hoping to finish the story this weekend, and hopefully get a review out this coming Friday. Hopefully I can. If not, I'll do a different video. But yeah, the plan for me that I'm thinking of is to try and get a video review out for this DLC this Friday. Probably we'll see how that works out, because I know Monday through Wednesday I'm gonna be busy with something that I cannot talk about. So I don't know how that's gonna work out, but we'll see. We'll see how this works out. And also, like Friday, it's gonna be busy. It's gonna be busy. Let me just say that much. So I'll see what I can do.
Interesting. And on that note, I think we are gonna finish episode 21 of the Play to Win podcast. Thank you all very much for watching. Once again, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Play to Win Game for updates on the show and just random stuff that we post. Also, while you are watching the podcast on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and tick the notification bell so you know when new videos go live. Remember to share the show with anyone who you think would enjoy it. Tyler, where can people find you?
Find me over on Twitter at Tyler Miller 2496. Follow me for gaming posts, anime posts. You want to see Ghost of Tsushima screenshots and video recordings and stuff, follow me, because I've already posted some. I'm going to be posting more as I play this game. I'm certainly going to be posting more. So follow me if you want to see some of that.
Awesome. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Badlynet, BADLYNET, all one word. Thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you all next week.
Have a great one.